Man, oh man, the NBA offseason is getting crazier and crazier by the day, and we're still like a week or two away from free agency. I believe the draft is this Thursday, but still, man, NBA offseason is getting crazy. So obviously, you guys already know about the trade that the Celtics made to send the #1 pick to the 76ers. In return, the Celtics got the #3 pick. The Lakers pick next year, or the Kings or the 76ers pick the year after that. It was a weird trade, but yes, a lot of people thought the 76ers won that trade since they are going to get Markelle Fultz with the first pick in the draft, but that's not what we're talking about today, man. We are talking about Jimmy Butler and the Bulls possibly moving him. So obviously, for over a year, there has been rumors about the Bulls possibly trading Jimmy Butler. Last year, everyone thought we were going to trade him to the Timberwolves for the pick that ended up drafting Chris Dunn. Everyone's been linking him to the Celtics, thinking that, oh, the Celtics may trade the #3 pick and some other assets for Jimmy Butler. There's been tons of discussion about that, but now we have 2 or 3 more teams in the race to maybe trade for Jimmy Butler. So first, we got a Woj. You guys know how it goes. He is like the #1 NBA source. What he says is usually taken really, really heavily and really, really believed. He doesn't get it wrong. Adrian tweeted that Chicago's price for Jimmy Butler remains elevated, but Minnesota has assets and interests. Sides made preliminary contact this week. So the Minnesota Timberwolves obviously looking to possibly trade for Jimmy Butler. Now, I don't know how I feel about that, because I personally think that in a trade like that, Andrew Wiggins would be off the table, and I think the Bulls would probably get either Zach LaVine or Chris Dunn and some draft picks, and I don't know about how I feel about that, because Zach LaVine is coming off of a torn ACL, and Chris Dunn was absolutely awful in his rookie year, man. Everyone thought he would be the most NBA-ready prospect, and he was just terrible. So I really don't know how I feel about the Bulls possibly getting one of those guys. Obviously, it's good to get younger. The Bulls need to rebuild, especially if they're going to trade Jimmy Butler. But I don't know if I believe in those guys, man. Zach LaVine would be dope, but coming off a torn ACL is tricky, and I've seen firsthand how sometimes it doesn't just work out the best, man. You guys saw it with Derrick Rose. He got injured a ton more times, and I just don't want to see that happen on the Bulls again. But I do have to say, out of all the teams that have interest in Jimmy Butler, I wouldn't mind seeing him on the Timberwolves, man. Seeing him and Tibbs back together again, and him with Karl Anthony Towns and possibly Andrew Wiggins, that would be a dope team to watch. Now, Casey Johnson, one of the main guys who covers the Bulls, said the Suns are another team to watch per sources, and I saw that a few times on Twitter as well. I believe they have the 4th pick in the NBA draft and a ton of young assets, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Suns made an offer for Jimmy Butler as well. And honestly, I don't think I would mind seeing Jimmy Butler on the Suns. They have a nice young core. Devin Booker's a beast. He's one of my favorite young players to watch, so I wouldn't mind seeing him on the Suns. But now we have the huge news that no one was expecting, and it comes from Mark Stein. Mark Stein tweeted, "The Cavaliers, per league sources, have been working today on assembling multi-team trade scenarios to try to acquire Chicago's Jimmy Butler." Yo, that would be absolutely insane. As a Bulls fan, it kind of pisses me off just because, like, the Cavs have always kind of been the rivalry, or whatever team LeBron is on has always been the rival to the Bulls since we've been pretty good in the recent past, but we sucked last year. That doesn't matter, though. But yeah, it would kind of piss me off, but at the same time, for the whole scenario of Cavs versus Warriors, it would make that so much more interesting, man, and it might even make the Cavaliers favorites to win the NBA championship. Now, obviously, to do this trade, the Cavaliers would have to trade away Kevin Love, and I don't really see the Bulls getting Kevin Love, so Kevin Love would probably be traded to the 3rd team in this scenario, and the 3rd team would probably have to give the Bulls some young assets. Now, I don't know what other teams the Cavs are trying to work with to get this done, but that would be crazy if Jimmy Butler ended up on the Cavs. And we already know that Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade are boys. Like, Dwayne Wade's one of his biggest reasons for coming to Chicago was Jimmy Butler, and Dwayne Wade has made it pretty apparent if Jimmy Butler is not in a Bulls uniform this upcoming season, he will more than likely decline his player option and become a free agent, which I personally really want to happen. So if Jimmy Butler were to get traded to the Cavaliers, there would be a chance that Dwayne Wade would join his former teammate LeBron James on the Cavs with Jimmy Butler, with Kyrie Irving, and form an even crazier team. Now, if that were to happen, Dwayne Wade may come off the bench. I'm not really positive about that. They may just run like LeBron at the 4, Jimmy Butler at the 3, D Wade at the 2, then Kyrie at the 1, and Tristan Thompson at the 5. That would be an insane lineup, and it would definitely make the NBA Finals even more interesting. I don't know if Dwayne Wade would start or if they'd bring him off the bench. That will remain to be seen, but yo, this is just crazy stuff to hear about. Now, honestly, do I think this will happen? Probably not, man. A lot of pieces would have to fall into place for this to happen. There would have to be a team willing to or wanting to take on Kevin Love and his contract and to give up a ton of assets to the Bulls. And it would just be a crazy scenario. I don't think this will happen, but it's definitely something to think about. It would be absolutely insane if it did. Now, obviously, the Celtics are also looming, possibly making an offer for Jimmy Butler that would include the 3rd pick, maybe later draft picks, maybe someone like Avery Bradley. I'm not really sure what the offers are going to look like, man. But all I know is the more teams that are interested in trading for Jimmy Butler and making offers, the better the offers will get. So the Cavs being interested in making this trade and this coming out to the public may force the Celtics or the Suns or whoever else is trying to get Jimmy Butler to make an even better offer than they were originally going to make, just to make sure that the Cavs don't get Jimmy Butler. And as a Bulls fan, that's definitely good. I want everyone to want to trade for Jimmy Butler, man. I don't see the Bulls having the opportunity to win a championship next year with Jimmy Butler on the team, and he is my favorite player. But you have to look at the future, man. Guys are only getting older on the Bulls. Jimmy Butler is in his prime, 27, soon to be 28 years old. It may just be time to rebuild, to trade Jimmy Butler for young players and NBA draft picks and just restart it and try to become a team like the 76ers who built from the draft. You guys already know you never want to be average in the NBA. You either want to be really good, contending for a championship, or you want to be absolutely trash, getting a really bad record to get a really good draft pick, man. That's usually how it goes. And if the Bulls hold on to Jimmy Butler, it's more than likely that Dwayne Wade would stay. It's more than likely that Rondo would stay. And we'd probably just be a decent team yet again that doesn't have much of a chance to compete for an NBA championship. So I'm not looking at the now, man. It's hard to look at the now for the Bulls. I know it's going to be tough for us. I'm looking at the future, and our best bet would probably be trading Jimmy Butler. Now, out of all the teams that I've mentioned in this video, what team do I think has the best chance at trading for Jimmy Butler? That's a tough one. I'd still probably say the Celtics just because they have tons of draft picks and tons of young assets. After the Celtics, I'd probably say the Suns have the next best chance just because the front office of the Chicago Bulls don't really have that great of a relationship with Tibbs, and he would be their main contact if they were to talk to the Timberwolves, which they are, and I don't know if they'd come to agree on a deal. It'll be interesting to see though, man. That is for sure. At the end of the day though, I don't think the Bulls will trade Jimmy Butler. Our front office usually has no idea what they're doing, man. Their trade in the middle of the season made absolutely no sense. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but if I were to be a betting man, I would say that Jimmy Butler will not get traded this offseason. But I mean, he could, and honestly, I kind of hope he does. It's probably best for the future, even though he is my favorite player. In other news, I heard a rumor on Twitter today that the Bulls will possibly look to sign Andre Iguodala, or they have interest in signing Iggy, which just makes absolutely no sense with the direction that the team is going, especially if we still have Wade on the team with Jimmy Butler. Like, I don't understand that at all. That just goes to show what front office is thinking, which I have no idea what they're thinking. They're usually tripping. But yeah, that is a rumor, which I hope it's not true, but it's out there, man. It is definitely out there, which is pretty insane to me. But yeah, the front office is going to do what the front office is going to do, man. We gave up Taj Gibson and Doug McDermott for 3 trash players, and we gave up a second-round pick. So that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. A lot of times we make terrible moves, but That's just what it's like being a Bulls fan. So yes, boys, you guys could let me know what you think in the comments down below. I love to hear your input on things. I love to talk about the NBA, so I'm definitely going to try to make more videos like this in the future. If you liked it, make sure to smash that like button. Let's try to get 1,000 likes on this video. I know you guys can do it. Thank you all for watching, man. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, smash that like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.